On this episode of The Lowdown, KFC and Lifetime's recipe for seduction, Drake launches his own candle, Dunkin's purple sugar plum macchiato, and Twitter's best brand tweets of 2020. Join us, won't you?
And here we go.
Yeah!
We're back for another electrifying episode of The Lowdown, a small agency's take on the big world of PR and social in mainstream media, pop culture, and more. And arguably the greatest podcast in the comm sphere. Quite simply, it's the most fun you can have with your pants on.
I don't know. It's fun, though, isn't it?
Thanks, Big Earn. I think so, too. This week, we're 3 episodes old. They grow up so fast, don't they? To everyone who's tuned in and sent us feedback and notes of support, we certainly greatly appreciate that. I'm Brian Lowe, President and CEO of BML Public Relations, the greatest PR and social media agency on the planet that I happen to own.
Yeah, buddy.
But don't take our word for it. Check out our creative-driven PR and social chops at bmlpr.com. And as always on the cast, we'll talk all things strategy, creative, and execution. Who did it right, who missed the mark, and raising the bar, while breaking down the PR spin and social strats that make the world go round. But before we grace your brains with the knowledge that you seek, let me introduce to you this week's cohorts.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Today's panelists go round for round with media, influencers, and the underbelly of the internet on a daily basis, and they still look just all right. I'd say they just look all right. Say hello to our Lowdown panel. Our first panelist loves the Black Friday shopping mania and never buys anything. Say hello to VP extraordinaire, Quirkmeister General John Gramuglia.
What up?
Beep, 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 boop,
Get in line early, guys. My tip. My pro tip.
Crucial.
Hashtag pro tip.
And as you'll all notice, our newest addition to the Lowdown crew is the media relations beast who once went on a date with a guy who ate squirrel and then made her pay for it because he forgot his wallet. Please welcome the woman with 2 first names, Alexis Paul.
It's me.
Heyo.
Yo,
Welcome.
What up?
Yeah, what up?
Hey.
And our final panelist of the day never met a vanity social metric that he didn't despise. Coming at you live from the nerdery. Please click like for social strategist Mike Shickalone.
Oh, God! No!
Nerdery.
See what I did there,
Dude.
Schick? The nerdery.
Dude, that's what I'm calling your place from now on. I love it.
Fair game. We're going to change the Wi-Fi.
And I will say that your nerdery tends to be nicer than others because I see a window. There's a little bit of light.
That's true.
I was allowed
Climb
out
into
of the
that.
basement today.
Nice. Well, listen, welcome all you guys. And we should also note
Yeah.
that all opinions shared here on the cast are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of our agency. And if you don't like them, drop us a line. We're happy to discuss, but we think you can handle it.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when
So
you were a
let's
kid?
dive right in and get started. Chick, let's fire up the randomizer for our Icebreaker of the week.
And
Yeah.
here we go.
What do we got, Chick?
All right, we got a winner. If you were stuck in any food and had to eat your way out, what would it be?
Are you making these up or what? They're
Do
good.
my homework.
Solid.
I picture him just waking up in the middle of the night out of a dead
I
sleep.
got it.
going, "Ugh."
Trip these guys up this
3
time.
a.m. has no head.
Well, but as everybody knows, this is part of the method to our madness, right? Ideally, we start off, get everybody loose, get everybody's juices flowing. So I will say, I'll take this one. I'll start, right? So Buffalo Chicken Pizza from a place in South Orange, New Jersey. Well, actually, Summit, South Orange, and Maplewood called the Village
Yes.
Trattoria.
I know what you're saying.
Probably the greatest
A1.
pizzeria on the planet. So
If you
Buffalo
know, you
Chicken
know.
Pizza from
Yeah.
those guys.
Yes.
Blue cheese crumbles, blue cheese drizzle all over it.
Yeah.
Just
We-
absolute utopia.
We've all lived in the South Orange Maplewood area at one point. The 4
Yeah.
That is true.
How about
That is true.
How about
Shout
that?
out, Shu.
Cool. All right, I'm going next. I'm going to say Lucky Charms marshmallows. I can always eat those things. and I
Magically
love-
delicious.
That's right.
Yup.
How can you argue with that?
I love the little crunch.
Best
Like,
part of the
yeah.
cereal.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Alexis, what do you got?
I'm going with chocolate cake. Super moist. You got the icing and you got the cake. It's like a 2-for-1.
I'm into it.
Just
So
any
that's
is it specific brand? Duncan Hines? Does it matter?
Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines, Pillsbury. I don't discriminate.
Nice.
Nice.
Solid all-American answer. I love it.
Shake, what do you got? It sounds like look from what you just showed, it looks like you're gonna make your dentist very happy.
Yeah, so he's going to be stoked. I'm going to go with Sour Patch Kids. Hold on, though. For those of you watching on YouTube,
Sheiks Meeks.
customized mix right here.
Oh my god. Love it.
So that's
Which
actually a
flavor?
Shakes mix.
special shout out to John.
Yeah.
That was
The guy
a
who got
birthday
that
gift
for
this
you
past
for your
year,
birthday.
quarantine birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I got a toilet now.
Jesus, Schick, have some dignity.
Sorry.
Happy
I
birthday,
couldn't wait.
Schick.
Which flavor though, Shaq?
It was, I believe, an American Standard champion.
Oh, look at
not,
that.
not of toilet.
Oh.
Sour Patch Kid.
What flavor of
What
toilet?
flavor?
I love, I could go for a champion toilet any day.
Delicious.
all?
Yeah.
Any
All
period.
right.
Yeah, I'm a big, as you could see from the Schick Mix blend, I am a big red and blue Sour Patch guy. Typically don't like the red flavored stuff, though. Cherry stuff.
But you're into the Sour Patch Kids. Got
It
it.
happens. I get it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we are the perfect mix of sweet and savory, are we not?
Ooh,
So
nice.
listen, great icebreaker. Always love that portion of it. But from this point, we're going to actually jump back to something we discussed on our last episode, right? So this just in from the interwebs. On our last episode, Schick threw out two topics to the wide world of web: is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And are social users interested in tweeting fleets? Schick, what are the opinions of the old, very wise Instagram reveal?
Yeah, so we'll start off with the Twitter and fleets. This was the results are an astounding 92% of our followers said no fleeting way to fleets. So not too surprised with those results.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, and then moving on to our second poll, which was a very polarizing topic. We had the results were a little closer, but 71% of fans said yippee-ki yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So there you have it. If you don't like these results and want to participate in any future ones, make sure you're following us on Instagram at BMLPR.
Very nice, Schick. And I did hear a report that the Die Hard question actually had clergy fighting in the streets. So very polarizing at the end of the day, and we appreciate it. But thanks for tying that one back and getting those results so that we could really find out the pulse of everyone related to the Die Hard challenge, if it were. So,
Dude, I'm shocked at that.
yeah,
Me too.
I'm pretty surprised myself. I mean, we could rehash this all day.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
So next up is a little feature we call "This segment is not brought to you by," which again highlights a brand that deserves a nod for doing it right. And we're in no way being paid for this, although we wish we were. What's good, John?
This is not sponsored by BarkBox. I don't know if you guys are dog owners out there, but being a recent pet parent, recently subscribed to BarkBox because I've been getting crushed with ads on Instagram for their Home Alone box. And obviously, if you know anything about me and if you've listened to the lowdown before, you know what a freak for Home Alone I am. So I saw this box that had like officially licensed merchandise from the movie, including like Harry and Marv chew toys, dog treats that were kind of like in the gist of the movie and like kind of flavored like that. They played off certain lines in the movie. It was packaged incredibly for an unboxing experience too. For something that wasn't mine, it was a delight to unbox. I gotta give them props. Like everything was super well designed from the unboxing to the actual stuff that was in the Bark box. So shout out to them. I thought they did a tremendous job with this thing. It looks so freaking cool. And Schick will show you some of the assets right now because I've been taking pictures of it nonstop. It looks really, really awesome, and the dog like loves it. So shout out to BarkBox.
Is there anything in the box that at all is for the human? It's just 100% for the dog.
Designed for the
100%.
human or that John took advantage of?
It's called a bark box.
Where are you going with this? So some of those treats in there look mighty appealing, I have to say. But
Well, the
they are-
reason I ask is just because I mean it's so like a dog doesn't like Home Alone, you do, right?
Correct.
So
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like she could care less, but the toys are awesome, and just seeing them like around the house and seeing like Harry and Marv getting like thrown about by the dog it's awesome. So, love it. Shout out to BarkBox, like a really, really good job, and I think they've made me a fan for life. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these freaking dog toys now because they send you like a nice supply of stuff every month. So. But yeah, they did a great job. So really,
very
really
cool.
awesome.
So and what's the address you can go check that out at, John? Is it just
head to
barkbox.com?
barkbox.com. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love stuff
Cool.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very cool. Well, listen, a little holiday cheer as we get closer to the big day. Appreciate that, John. And now we're going to transition into our major first topic of the day, and I'm going to tackle that one for you. So again, KFC and Lifetime's Recipe for Seduction with Mario Lopez. So spicy. KFC, Lifetime, and agency Weed and Kennedy joined forces to bring the world a new branded content collab, as I mentioned, called The Recipe for Seduction. And this thing aired on Lifetime on Sunday, December 13th. The Washington Post billed this as, quote, a sultry on-air concoction of 11 secret herbs, spices, and romance, end quote. According to the network, it's a 16-minute and 18-second story about a young heiress who contends with the affections of a suitor handpicked by her mother. Now, when the handsome chef Harlan Sanders, who's played by Mario Lopez, the dreamy Mario Lopez, arrives with his secret fried chicken recipe in a dream, he sets in motion a series of events that unravels the mother's devious plan. So like all Lifetime movies, it'll leave you on the edge of your seat just wondering, will our plucky heiress escape to her wintry, happy ever after with Harlan at her side, or will she cave to the demands of family and duty? Spicy, right? So head on over to mylifetime.com to check it out for yourself. Again, that's mylifetime.com. And let's start here, guys. What do you think?
Well, first off, I love the name. It's iconic.
Yes,
Just
yes.
the title itself.
Yes, agreed. I love it.
Absolutely agreed there.
Yes. Yeah. I thought it was so clever to be able to push this thing through. I love it. And to see I love how they take that, like another actor playing the Colonel, like they just continue to push it.
Mm-hmm.
Like this just like pushes it even more, and it is so great. Now, did I watch it? No, but I love the headlines around it. So I thought it was super funny, but is it making me run out and get KFC? Absolutely not. But I thought it was so clever. Loved it.
I like.
Chick, what about you?
I liked everything that was like everything about it except the actual product here being the 16-minute video. Like I love the teaser image of the two of them, you know, Mario and the co-star. I like the build up to it, but I don't know. I felt like the actual video itself, like I wanted more of the chicken. And maybe it's me because I'm not a Lifetime movie guy.
You're not?
No, weird, right?
Shocker.
So, you know, maybe it just missed the mark with me a little bit there. But like I loved everything about it. Like I always think of like stuff like this. I always relate back to Entourage with the movie that that character was doing, Medellin, where it was like the movie was a bomb, but like the trailer that they put out was like really good and got everybody really excited. I feel like the pre-product here was really good. At least for me, in my opinion. Not to say, I mean, it seems like a success, right? We're talking about it. A lot of people were talking about it. It looks really good. So, but yeah, I mean, I liked everything before the actual movie came out.
So now I'm going to, I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay.
So I'm going to dissect this thing. So what I loved is that without a doubt, this thing was a vehicle, as we talked about, to create media coverage as well as shareable content, reaching and targeting this Lifetime viewer directly, right? But with the secondary target of being, we all know stunts like this are built for the mainstream media. So though it's designed to really probably target the Lifetime people, it also had that secondary effect of that ripple effect of just mainstream mass media. And that's what it's obviously designed to do. So from a target audience standpoint, the creative allowed them to have their cake and eat it too. By far one of the biggest stunts of the month and possibly even of the year. I like that it captured the corny essence of the typical Lifetime movie. How do I know that? None of your business. But we'll also
extremely dramatic.
right, but it was also self-deprecating, I think, at the same time, and it's a very creative play. Not only worked for both of these brands, but it just killed on the PR front, which is where my inner nerd goes. The funny thing too is the sickest burn of the episode where it got a little tense was the fiance calling Mario Lopez a crouton, and Mario said,
"Don't call me crouton."
So absolutely savage, Mario.
What does that mean?
So John,
Are you offended?
yeah, I was gonna say, as modern crouton on Instagram, is that insult? Does that cut to the core?
Yeah, it cuts deep, man.
John, on behalf defending his fellow croutons.
Yeah.
But the headline here is that this thing was everywhere. I love that the brand also doesn't take itself too seriously, especially given like all the things in the world right now. To John's point earlier, though, I also love the evolution of the Colonel over the years, right? So they've used really big Hollywood
The
names.
Colonel's hot.
Hot take.
Yeah. Very.
No, but
Mario
it's,
Lopez as the Colonel. Come on, guys.
it's hard to argue with. It really is.
True.
But even the fact that over the years they've mixed it up, right, and had Reba McEntire one, so having somebody from another gender playing Colonel Sanders was just awesome, as well as just seeing who slides into the role next. I think is going to be, is just going to kind of continue this evolution of this character. Now, the things that I actually questioned of it, is so first of all, I'm nitpicking a little bit, right? But the wedding scene. The Colonel is not wearing his signature black string tie, which is an iconic part of the look. It's an iconic part of the Colonel, the brand, all of that.
True.
So I'm curious about that. I mean, I get they're sexifying the Colonel. I get that. Come on.
Right.
And it worked. But I still want to see that shoelace tie, right? I agree with what Chick said. Not enough focus on the chicken and not enough vision from the Colonel, right? They just kept talking
agree.
about, he was just this guy who came and he had this secret recipe that was going to change the world. I don't
Do you guys
think
know
that.
a lot about the Colonel?
He's on my
have you
speed
ever
dial.
heard about his life?
Well, I did read up a little bit, and I did find out that he was married first when he was 19. He had 3 kids, and then at some point the Colonel got bored, and ended up hooking up with one of his first waitresses at one of his restaurants,
Oh
who
my.
then he married and had a long marriage too. So
Okay.
other than that,
That's what I was kind of wondering about, because like I watched this documentary like a few months ago on the History Channel, I believe. It was like The Food That Made Us, and it was like all about these like
Yes.
big companies. You watched that too?
I've watched that too. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so it was like McDonald's, Birdseye,
Yeah.
Heinz, like a bunch of them,
Coca-Cola, right.
Kellogg's.
Yep.
Yeah, and for the KFC one, like, I don't know, like Colonel Sanders was just kind of like this guy that was like a gas attendant. He like cooked in the kitchen, would bring out food. So like I kind of thought it was interesting how they gave him like this like elaborate,
Like-
fantasy life. Like I was like, where did this come from?
well, I
That's
mean, if
funny.
you're gonna cast Mario Lopez in anything, you're not gonna just have him as a gas station attendant bringing out chicken here and there. I mean,
No.
Yeah.
no, but it's interesting, absolutely, when you see the backstory or when you hear the backstory of a brand or an icon that is portrayed in a different way, especially the evolution of that. I mean, it's evolved over the years, and so it's really interesting. But I just still feel like, there could have been more mentions of the empire that he built. More focus of the chicken, and I get they wanted to balance. There isn't one brand mentioned in the actual episode.
Just in the
Which,
beginning.
but they could have, I think, alluded to it more and still kind of towed that line of like hitting somebody over the head with almost like an infomercial, right? Which I just thought there was more room for it. Again, not necessarily a negative that they didn't go that way. I just
Sure.
thought there was a little bit more latitude where they could have.
Yeah. I like the fact that they just like stayed away from it. I think it's just a cool move in general. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
Maybe if it was longer, they would have time to like include a little bit
True.
more. But I mean, it was only 15 minutes.
sure.
That's true. That's true. The other thing that I also thought was weird, and I got to hear if I'm the only one who thinks this way, but so I get like the Lifetime movies, how they're structured and how they're like a little bit, there's a little sinister and there's a little love and there's
Sure.
sometimes love triangles.
Yeah.
I just thought it was crazy creepy that the sexual storyline between the mom and her daughter's fiance. Now I've seen more Lifetime movies than I care to admit, I will say. But they do suck you in. They pull you in. I don't know that I've ever seen a mother-daughter love triangle one, so maybe I'm wrong about that. And I'm no prude, but that was gross. But maybe I'm
I was
wrong.
kind of just like, why doesn't she just marry him then?
Right,
Like,
because
if
it would
they're
save...
secretly in love anyway, what's the problem?
See, now you're thinking. Because it was all about he was the way to saving the family, right? Because they were financially ruined. So, right, why didn't the mother just marry this guy and she could have had his money anyway? So
True.
So anyway, I'm not obviously I'm nitpicking here, but I love this thing. My raise the bar moment though is, again, I need to see how it ends, right? It was kind of like a cliffhanger, so I'd love to see the happily ever after with Harlan hitting it big. Building that brand, but I know that this brand is gonna, they're gonna leave this thing more like Sopranos style, like, well, you decide how it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
But overall, great approach. It's the old school equivalent, in my opinion, and I'm dating myself here a little bit, to placing a crazy racy billboard or a full page in a major daily newspaper around the country that is just designed to generate press, right? So this is just a different vehicle for that, but I love it. I love the creativity of it. So a big yeah, buddy, to Lifetime, KFC, and the agency partner Whedon Kennedy Portland for a job really, really well done. So
Just
that's
ring the
it for
gong
me.
for him, huh?
Always on the assault of creative. They're just always bringing it. Serious kudos.
Absolutely, and they're definitely they're a brand that we look up to from an agency
Killer.
standpoint. I mean,
Really
we're
good.
constantly keeping an eye and like literally high-fiving for these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
we'd prefer to be the ones in the seat, of course, but this is the kind of fun stuff that really resonates with consumers in the long
Love
run.
it.
So it'll be interesting to see if they build in a part 2 or who's next in the seat.
Just so clever. Yeah. All right.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. So with that wraps up KFC, and let's head over to John, who's going to talk to us about a smelly topic.
I'm sure you guys heard this, but our favorite actor, musician, Renaissance man,
Canadian,
fellow Canadian, ish.
Ish.
Hey, he actually recently launched a luxury candle company, guys, called Better World Fragrance House. Thank you, Lil John. Upping the ante, right? So he recently launched his company. To up the ante, though, even on this whole line, Drake launched a candle that smelled like himself. The title, Carby Musk. Okay, it's his personal scent of Drake. Allegedly, it's got notes of musk, amber, suede, and velvet.
I was going to launch my own scent, but I was just going to call it foul. Sorry, John.
So once the candle went on sale, right, it sold out super fast, right? He's got other candles in the line, but this one obviously sold out very, very fast. The price tag on this bad boy, $80, okay? Like normal size candle. Now, obviously the candle idea comes up in brainstorms for us a lot, right? Because it's a tried and true kind of PR way to break through. Mm-hmm. But Drake sold his candle for $80, which I love, and it probably smells awesome. But I thought was an opportunity where I kind of questioned the play is, I know he's very focused on charitable efforts, and we saw him like his God's Plan video where he's just dishing money out to people on the street, but there was no charitable component to this thing, which I thought was a little bit of an opportunity where I thought it would have been kind of like an automatic for something like this. And I would have thought,
especially this time of year too.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I thought I wanted to hear from you guys, what you thought about the play, and if there was an opportunity to raise the bar. Like, wouldn't you think that there would be a charitable component for an item like this around the holidays? Just want to get your thoughts, because that was my knee-jerk reaction. I'm like, hey, cool idea, probably smells awesome. No charitable component? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you there, especially to what Alexis just said. Like this time of year, I mean, even after the year that we've all had, it seems like a layup. I think John, you always say that it's a layup.
I'm not hating. I just thought it would have been automatic.
Right.
Especially because he's constantly on doing that sort of stuff. I just would have thought this would have been a natural, built-in component.
Yeah, I saw something, and we'll make sure we drop it in the video here. But I saw In Style shared a pic of Drake holding a bird, like a cockatoo or something. I don't know what kind of bird this was. And the headline said that he continues to prove he's the softest rapper out there, which I just thought was incredible. The picture just paired with the headline was just so funny.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, here's the thing. But I've got to think, that this thing is a miss, right? So I'm not really the biggest Drake fan. It's not really kind of my cup of tea. But I try to really keep my finger on the pulse of pop culture, given the nature of what we do for a living. And I do really feel like, to your point, this guy seems out there, and he always seems to be either doing something philanthropic, surprising and delighting fans, communities, all that kind of stuff. This doesn't strike me as a cash grab for this guy. I think I'm wondering if the wheels just were put in motion too quick by other people, and perhaps it's going to be announced at some point, which I would assume it would be.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. I feel like it just maybe it was rushed to market a little bit quick, and maybe it just was a component that was on the back burner, and maybe at some point it'll kind of get moved up to the front, but we'll see. I love the play. It's just I thought it would have been in there.
Yeah,
I kind of have two thoughts on this one, because first off, I feel like everything around the holiday season goes so well with his Hotline Bling video from a few years ago. I mean, he had like the big puffy jacket and the holiday sweaters and everything. Like, I feel like that probably would have been more
true,
time sensitive, but I mean, it is from a few years ago, so it probably would have been more relevant then. But I mean, personally for me, like, I'm not going out and buying a Drake candle. Like, I love him too, but I'm not for $80 though.
Well, I thought I read like what the scents were, and it was like a mashup of like fresh Nikes, cigar ash, and I'm like, what? Who the hell wants to smell that? I mean, for the Nikes, of course, fresh sneakers smell great, but like cigar ash blended into that?
Yeah,
what are you
got to
doing?
think about Gwyneth Paltrow too, though, with her candle that she just came out with.
Right.
True.
I mean, who wants to smell that?
The old non-mentionable.
Yeah, passeroo. But
so
it's a
I
family.
guess this is the thing now.
It's a family podcast. Come on.
Yeah. But anyway, love
forgot
the
about
play.
that.
Honestly, I forgot about that. Did that happen this year? Was that earlier this
Yes.
year?
Yeah.
Jesus, this year's been.
Wait, that was this year?
Yeah.
I think so.
Or like.
Whoa.
Or like end of 2019.
Whoa.
Yeah, within the
I
last year-ish.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, Yeah, well, listen, it'll be interesting to see what Drake does if his team ends up coming out with somebody, or maybe it's just a big surprise, or maybe they're vetting people. But is the candle already available? Because the story that I read, a couple stories I read about it, said that like it seems like he's more like seeding his friends, like some NBA players and some other musicians and artists, and like I don't. Is this thing really widely available at this point?
From what I read on the interwebs, yeah, it was sold and sold out immediately. So
wow,
yeah.
Well, I mean.
But obviously
we've done that. We've done that tactic.
Yeah. You want a New York Times bestseller? Go out and buy them. Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing he didn't say is that it crashed the website for an hour.
He did not. He left that clutch point out. Yes.
When will people learn? So anyway, no, great topic, John. Hopefully, big things to come from Drake, and obviously related to the charitable portion. Obviously, the guy seems like an all around good dude, and
for sure,
and does a lot of positive. So so even if he doesn't, the guy's entitled to one, right? I mean, he's so busy passing it all out.
I just figured he's always checking all the boxes. I just would have thought this would have been one of them, especially the timing of it. But but we still give him props, so for sure.
Totally. Good topic, love it. And now we're gonna move on to our newbie. Alexis Paul is gonna talk to us about something, and I say it like this: delicious.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I would say the topic is near and dear to my heart because I am a very big Dunkin' Donuts stan. But yeah, pretty much they just came out with a sugar plum macchiato for the holidays, and that's pretty much the story. So, I mean, from first impressions, I was like, I think I'm gonna pass on this. It's a hard no for me. It kind of resembles lean, so I think I'm good on that front.
Scissor.
Yep, scissor. Yeah, I don't know. The whole sugar plum thing to me is just kind of a no-go. Like, first of all, like, sugar plums, like, what do they even taste like? Like, I feel like they're like this, like, mythical, like, Christmas folklore, almost. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like sugar plums, like, come on. Like, I don't know. And then
you'll have to buy one to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But then it's also kind of like, I don't know. It just reminds me of like all of that like super gross Christmas food no one ever wanted, like the fruit cakes and figgy pudding and all of that. Like that's what I associate sugar plums with.
Pass the figgy pudding.
So I don't know. I just feel like they could have done something a little bit cooler. Personally, I mean, I get it because like it's Christmas time and it goes along with the Nutcracker. And when I was reading like up on it, like that's pretty much why they wanted to release it to like correspond with like the Nutcracker and everything. So like I totally get and appreciate like like the fabled holiday stuff as well. But I mean, personally, as someone who would have an IV of iced coffee dripping through my veins if I could, like I am more so thinking like a gingerbread or eggnog or maybe Christmas cookie flavor would resonate a little bit more with me personally. Even like something with like the Grinch, I can handle green, but I don't know
don't you think
about the purple.
But don't you think this is the year though to get the sugar plum just out of the way so that when the world normalizes again, we're like, well, that's in the rear view. We don't have to worry about that.
I gotta ask, has anybody here actually like? I feel like these things always come out, and we talk about all of these like edibles that basically come out that are seasonable or trying to take advantage of like the time of the year. Have you guys ever actually gone out and bought anything that came out like this time of year that took advantage of like a staple flavor? And I'm not saying like the pumpkin spice stuff.
I'm always getting the LTO stuff. Like, yeah, the pumpkin spice, obviously, but the Girl Scout ones, I'm obsessed with those. Every time they come out every year, I always get those. Like, the St. Patrick's Day one, they do, like, the Irish cream. So, I usually do always get them.
Die Hard.
But this one, I just can't do it. I don't know.
I'm a sucker for, like, fake, like, that color in the drink. Like, that, like, light purple. Like, give it to me.
Looks like Grimace from McDonald's.
Like that creamy, like fake fruit flavor, like that's what I'm looking for. So like I'm the dude who would try this thing. I just haven't tried it yet. But once Alexis told me about it, I was like, this thing sounds pretty good.
But so is this one like, does this one come where like you're the one adding your so I'm not a coffee drinker. Let me start by that. I kind of recuse myself from this whole thing other than what it looks like. I will drink a case of Diet Coke in a day if you let me. Diet Coke, send me some. But but what I will say is like, do you control the sweetness of it, or does it come just kind of like, all right, this is it?
It comes with your sugar high already.
It's pre-sweetened, right? Like it's like
I mean, I guess if you want more in it, you can, but I feel like you'd probably die.
Yeah, it's like what I think it's a one size fits all for the most part, like you can add your own to plus it up, but like it comes
Yeah.
pre-sweetened like as is.
Did you hear
think
about
this
Jerry?
one-
What happened? He died of the sugar
Sugar
plum
rush.
macchiato. It was tragic.
I think this one also really hit home for me because I was just so upset because I'm like, I do want to try it, but I don't know if I can with this one because I am always that person that gets the weird flavors. Like, I love that kind of stuff. Like, when I was younger, do you guys remember those, like, extra dessert delights gums?
The gum,
Do you
yeah,
remember
with like
those?
apple pie gum and stuff.
Oh
Like-
my god,
like
I had
the-
them all.
Yeah.
I literally had them all. Apple pie, lemon
That
square,
was good.
key lime pie, orange cream popsicle. Like, I literally had them all. So, like, it's not that I'm not willing to get out there and try all these crazy ones. Like, I'm
Sure.
obsessed with them.
That's
So
right.
again, you
But-
haven't had this one yet.
I have not. I don't want to. I feel like it's not worth it.
Oh, come on. Here's the thing. We got to do a call out for next week. So first of all, we should put a poll up on Instagram. But secondly, Alexis, your charge as a member of the Lowdown panel is to go taste this thing and report back.
All
Yep.
right,
Yep.
fine.
She's like, I hate this panel.
It's funny that Alexis brought up that gum, the like sweet flavored gum, because I
Yeah.
actually tried to use that as like a reprieve when I was doing bodybuilding. As like, this is how I'm gonna cheat. Like, I'll satisfy my sweet tooth with like this
Did
flavored
it
gum.
help?
No,
This is my snack.
Let me tell you, it did not help. Yeah,
I
it was-
loved them. Everyone used to always hit me up and be like, "Oh, what like flavor do you have this week?" Like, I was like that girl. I loved them. I thought they were great.
I think the apple pie was like what put me over. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this because I was still personal training too, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up in the middle of a session. I'm like, I just can't do this.
Probably.
I'm like,
I don't
oh.
know if I could handle it now, but yeah, I mean,
No
I
way.
was obsessed with them.
Shit-
So shout
Shit's
out for
like-
extra because I
Shit's-
love those. They
Shik's
were
like
the
Shik's like it's that time of the day. It's my dessert gum.
best.
Said no one ever.
treat myself.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Also,
listen.
Like, Pepsi
Okay.
just came out with like an apple pie flavored soda too for Thanksgiving. So
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
it's across the grid, like all
Sure.
these things.
Oh.
So
I think we'll have to tackle that one another
Yeah.
time.
November 2021 episode.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, listen, Alexis, great topic. So again, your marching orders are clear. Go try it. Report back.
Yes.
All right.
So, in the question, I think actually the real poll is she going to like it or not? Is it going to surprise her? Is she
I
going to be
think she
pleasantly
will.
surprised?
I think so.
I don't
I
think
mean,
these guys. Yeah,
I
these
would love to love it, but I'm very nervous.
these guys know exactly what they're doing in the food lab. You know what I mean? So
True.
don't be shocked when you're like, oh my god, I love it. And that wasn't an impression. That's just a reaction. So.
All right.
But anyway, listen, great topic, Alexis. Thank you. And now we're going to kick it over to Schick for the social second.
Yeah, so this year Twitter took a different approach to its annual best tweets announcement. As you can imagine, there was a lot of pivoting this year, a lot of campaigns that had to take a shift. So Twitter really made their shift by making more relevant criteria for 2020. So for instance, swapping best brand launch with best campaign for driving positive change. Twitter wrote in its introduction, if you're reading this, chances are you've likely thrown out your fair share of 2020 marketing plans out the window. Scrap shoots, delayed launches, ever-shifting budgets, Zoom this, Zoom that. These challenges have really pushed marketers creatively, leading to some incredible work on Twitter. So they've announced their full list, and we'll put the link in our YouTube comment and description so you guys can go check it out. Personally, my favorite brand tweet that went out was from McDonald's this year, where it was their community manager. This one struck me right here in the heart, where their community manager kind of stepped out from behind the curtain just to show face a little bit with that tweet that said, everybody asks when the McRib's coming back, but nobody asks how the community manager's doing.
Love that.
I mean,
Love
it was
that
great to
tweet.
see all the other brands that jumped in there and really kind of let their guard down in some respect. I love seeing that kind of stuff personally, just from my seat. I want to see more of that in 2021.
I mean, and it spilled over. Like I remember, tracking that thing on Twitter and looking at like Foo Fighters commented and like
I
Dave,
mean-
like it's just so funny how many people got involved in that. Yeah, I love that kind of like, all brands kind of getting on it, having fun together. I mean, I think that kind of collab is great, and especially when it's organic in nature. I mean, that's really when it's it's just so fun, and you're kind of capturing lightning in a bottle. It's always fun to watch there. So
For sure.
yeah. So
Especially
great
on
stuff.
a
Lovely.
platform that can be so negative at times and just filled with a lot of hate. It's good to see that kind of stuff. So more of that in 2021, please.
Absolutely, way, way, way more of it. I think there's no doubt we need that. So, well, listen, that does it for us here at the Lowdown.
Alexis,
Thanks for listening.
One down.
Yeah, if you, yeah, exactly. Alexis, hopefully you enjoyed yourself today, which
I
we promised we promised you would.
Well done. We'll ring the gong for you for getting rid of
Solid. So listen, thanks for listening to The Lowdown. If you enjoyed the podcast, please drop us a line at tld@bmlpr.com. Subscribe and recommend us to an industry friend. The Lowdown can be found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, here come the plugs. Follow me at Brian M. Lowe, the number 1 on Twitter. Go ahead, John.
You can follow me at Modern Crouton on Twitter and Instagram.
Crouton. Don't call me Crouton. Schick, what do you got?
You can follow me at Mike Schick on Instagram and Twitter. I take back my statement from last week where I said don't follow me on Twitter because it's mostly customer service. I actually put out like 2, I think, funny tweets, so go follow me.
So go tell him if he's funny, is what he's basically
Please
saying.
make me feel good about myself.
Alexis, what do you got?
You can follow me on Insta, LEXPAUL_FlexBall.
Awesome. Good stuff. So listen, great one, everyone. And listen, don't forget, if you're looking for all the PR and social results without the typical agency bullshit, check us out at bmlpr.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Stay safe this holiday season, okay? Check in with those who are solo, family, friends, neighbors. Wear your mask over your nose. Keep distance and wash your hands. Until next time, stay safe, everyone.
Peace out.
Bye.
Later.